have a few things to say here. First, I want to start off with when the comeback started. Baltimore couldn't start their comeback until our secondary got injuries and we put a practice squad corner in the game. That is what it took for your MVP, for Superman, to start playing good. Was for us to put someone who is just recently elevated from the practice squad and barely practiced with the first team that he was playing with out there. That's what it took. And Rodrigo Blankenship getting injured, making his kicks less effective. Yeah. But no, he's Superman. Even though when you call a player something like King or Superman, they're supposed to do it against anybody, no matter what. Even if they're healthy. It shouldn't matter. But no. Superman is what we're going to call him. If Lamar Jackson is Superman, then Carson Wentz is like Jesus or something, because he was playing good the whole game. Didn't matter. He was playing good the whole game. And I get the Ravens have had injuries, but so have the Colts. And having injuries during the game is way different, because then you're bringing in guys that you don't have a chance to practice with. You don't have a chance to communicate with a lot in practice and make those mistakes that you saw in practice and then be able to fix those. So there is a difference between losing people during a game and losing them like the game before, or going into the game with someone that you've practiced with more, because that chemistry. Um, you don't have that chemistry if you bring in someone in the middle of the game who's like just elevated from the practice squad or has been practicing with the second or third team defense the whole week. Like, that chemistry just isn't there yet. Also, now it's time for me to blame the stuff that the Colts did wrong. Matt Eberflus. If they are 5 yards away from the goal line, you don't need to play zone coverage. Because guess what? You're not getting burnt deep, because there isn't a deep to go to, because they're 5 yards from the freaking goal line. What is the point of running zone in that situation? Please explain why you would run zone coverage in that situation when it hasn't worked ever. Hasn't worked the whole game. Zone coverage works when you're trying to prevent the deep ball. There is no deep ball to prevent when it's freaking 3rd and goal. And it hasn't worked the whole time when they get in the red zone and you run zone coverage. So what is the point? Please explain the point of running a zone there. What is the point of running a conservative defense when you have such aggressive guys on your defense? What is the point? Why are you doing that? That's just idiotic. It's completely idiotic. And it makes our players look bad when we have good players, but then you just run a terrible scheme constantly. They're running under the zones, they're running through the zones. Well, you want to know the way to fix that? Man-to-man coverage. Wow. It's almost like the tight end wouldn't be able to slip through coverages if you had someone designated to watch him the whole time and guard him the whole time. But man defense, winning teams use those. Oh my, Lamar's huge comeback game beats Colts. Media's having a field day with this. No one's going to talk about how he didn't start the comeback until the Colts were having injuries, and how they're not going to talk about any of it. They're only going to talk about Lamar's comeback. And people who didn't watch the game are just going to write the Colts off as they played bad. I'm sure somehow it's Carson Wentz's fault, too. I'm sure somehow it's Carson Wentz's fault. After playing his frickin' heart out. At least we didn't have Julian Davenport. We did play better without him. Huge comeback. I don't think it's a problem with the players. The healthy ones. It's just in that situation. Why are you running zone coverage? I'm trying to think of a reason. Like what are you protecting with zone at that point? What are you protecting with zone? Especially when you're running with a nickel corner. If they put 3 receivers there, a tight end, and a running back, you put your nickel corner with wherever they're bunching up the 2 receivers together. Those receivers play one-on-one there. You have the other receiver guard the other corner guard the receiver that's just alone by himself over there. You have a linebacker, probably an outside linebacker assigned to the tight end. And then you have probably Darius Leonard assigned to the running back. And then you have your safeties. I mean, if you want to run zone, you could run zone with your safeties. Maybe have one of the linebackers quarterback spy. That would have prevented a lot. But you decide to run zone. Why? What's the purpose in that? And I'm convinced the announcers don't know football, because they were talking about how Darius Leonard was at fault for that last touchdown there, when at that point he was past Darius Leonard's zone and it would have been in George Odom's. So it was George Odom's guy to guard at that point. So therefore it would be on George Odom and not Darius Leonard. But, that doesn't matter. Yeah, that's just questionable decisions. Really questionable decisions. It's just, teams are starting to figure out Matt Eberflus's weakness. And that's he runs zone when it's a short yardage situation. And that's really stupid. I also want to know how that was a illegal forward pass with Darius Leonard, giving it to Isaiah Rodgers. I want to know how that was an illegal forward. Like, what? That makes no sense at all, whatsoever. It makes absolutely zero sense. It's just stupid. We should have won that. No matter if you agree with me or not that it was the Colts players that collapsed or the Colts coaches that collapsed, I feel like everyone will agree with me in the fact that the Colts should have won that. I'm just getting really tired of the media having a field day every time we lose. Whenever we win or do good, it doesn't matter. But whenever we lose, it's a huge deal. Whenever we do bad, it's amplified. And whenever we do good, nobody pays any attention to it. And again, I get the Ravens have injuries, but like, Quentin Nelson's the best offensive lineman in the league. I feel like that matters a bit more than probably anybody on your IR, even J.K. Dobbins. He's a good running back, but a guy like Quentin Nelson probably means more to the team. And Rodrigo Blankenship having the hip injury, that probably definitely affected some of his kicks. I mean, on that 2-point conversion, maybe we would have just gone for the extra point, and Blankenship probably would have made it, and then we would have won, because it would have been 9-point lead instead of 8. A lot of what ifs that aren't gonna happen. Another week of stupidity. Another week. Man, I'm just tired. I'm just tired at this point. It's there's no incentive to be a Colts fan right now. Like, ooh, it's just pain. It's just pain. Yeah, at least on Sundays I'll get to watch an actually good and competent race team with Kyle Larson. But I don't get to watch a competent football team. Nope, not afforded that luxury. See you guys next time. As always, I'm not funny, and I'm just gonna leave you with this. If it takes you all of that to turn into Superman for Lamar Jackson, you're not Superman. You're just an overhyped quarterback who plays like a running back. That's all there is to it. And you can't beat a defense straight up. That's all there is to it. See you guys next time. And I know Baltimore fans are going to be mad at that. I honestly couldn't care less. You guys are still upset about something that happened back in the 80s. When your government was the one who didn't want to build the Ursays a new stadium. So it was completely preventable. But yeah, you're the victim. Because fan base, having a good fan base. Which is important, but when you can give them a new stadium, you're not the victim at that point. You can keep telling yourself that you are, but you're not.
You never see it coming.